Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to Art Discovery. Full steam ahead. Doot, doot. All right, we're very excited to be back here again. It is Wednesday, and we are introducing a new artist. And this new artist is somebody you might know or have heard of before. This man right here is a French man named Claude Monet. Can you say hi to Claude Monet?
Oh. Oui, oui.
Okay, so Claude Monet was he was a French Impressionist artist who he was born in 1840.
It's a long time ago.
That's a very long time
Almost
ago.
200 years.
Yeah, a long time ago in Paris, France. So that's where he became, he's a French man. And he has decided that what he loves to do was he loved to paint. He also, just like our friend that we met, Georgia O'Keefe, on Monday, she enjoyed painting things on scenery, things that were around her in nature. So he also loved to do that too. He loved using watercolors to be able to paint and create a masterpiece. So this picture that I showed you at first actually is a picture of a Japanese bridge in his own garden, okay, over a lily pond. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own bridge over our own lily pond. Are you ready? So you are going to need a piece of paper and a pencil, as well as a dark crayon, if you can. So you could use black, or you could use like a dark green to use your bridge. You do not, for your bridge, you do not need to use just black to make the bridge. If you wanted to just use any kind of dark one, you could use brown to make it. It's totally up to you. So the first thing that we're gonna do is give you just a minute. We're gonna sing our do-do-do-do song, and you're gonna go and get those things. Paper and a pencil and at least a dark crayon if you can. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. Do 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 do. All right, are you ready? If you're not ready, then you can pause it. And then you can start it again when you're ready to go. All right, here we go. I am going to take my pencil, but it's really a marker because I'm writing on the board. So I'm going to take my pencil.
Are we doing this with a pencil first or with a crayon
Do it with
first?
a pencil first, just in case you make a mistake. And do you remember, we talked about this before, do you really need to press really hard with your pencil? Nope, you don't need to, because you're going to want to be able to erase in case you make a mistake. So our piece of paper this time is straight up and down. We call this vertical. It's going to be the long way in front of you. Right about up here on your piece of paper, you're going to start and you're going to make an arch.
Ooh, or kind of like a flat rainbow.
Yep. Do you see it's not perfect?
Mine isn't either.
Nothing's perfect. You don't have to make it.
You know I don't draw very well.
All right, so now to make the bottom part, that's the top part of the bridge. To make the bottom part of the bridge, we're going to do the same thing. And we're just going to kind of follow the line and arc that we just made.
This is what mine looks like so far. How about yours?
Pretty easy peasy. Awesome sauce. All right, so now we have to make the part in the middle. Are you ready? So it's going to be kind of like these bars, if you can see. These bars up close. Those posts, and then you have a line going across. So we're going to do that, and we're going to start by making a line here, and then make it go over maybe like a little bit of a hand size between your thumb and your pinky. Over here, over here, over here. So now I was able to make at least 4 of them on mine.
I
You
made
did
5.
You made 5, and that is okay because it still looks great, right? All right, so we have that part there. The other part that it's missing is showing this line in the middle. So we're going to do the line in the middle. Are you ready? Here we go. Perfect. All right, everybody see that? So now, what you're going to get to do with your crayon, your either black crayon, or you could use a brown, or you could use a dark green. I don't know, maybe you could do it with blue if you wanted to do it with like a dark navy blue.
Maybe.
It needs to be a dark one because you have to be able to see the bridge really well when you do your watercolors. So here's the trick with crayons. When you're doing something with crayons and watercolors, the best thing to do is to make your crayon mark really hard. So Professor Buchanan is doing this right now, and maybe if you can just turn it a little bit to kind of show that you're doing it really, really hard.
I'm even going back and forth a little bit, but I'm kind of doing it slow. Whoops, so I can stay on that line.
It's hard to do it.
It is
like
hard to
this
do
way.
it upside down with my hand kind of crazy.
But do you see, you could even see from where you are that that is a really dark line, okay?
Yeah, it's hard to even see the up and down lines because I haven't done those yet.
Right. So the reason why we do that is because when we use the watercolors later on, it's going to resist the crayon. And that means that it's going to go away from the crayon. It's going to stay away from it. And that's what makes the painting and the picture look so awesome when you do that. So now, we have all of this area on the bottom of the picture. All this right here, if you take a look really closely, is actually water under the bridge. So it's water under the bridge. So we need to make sure that we're going to use our crayon to be able to make the water under the bridge. Now, you have different colors of blue, which you would probably use for your water. That helps to add texture and contrast to the picture. So what you're going to do is I'm going to grab a blue. Look, oh my goodness, look at, I have 2 different color blue markers. Oh, cool, coolio. So I'm going to use that to just make an area that has water.
I'm pressing hard with my crayon.
It's hard with your crayon. Okay, so now this part that's on either side is actually going to be a little bit of land that's on either side of the pond for where the bridge is. Okay, so inside of here you can have little squiggly lines with the dark, and you're going to press hard with your crayon to make those squiggly lines. You also can use a different color just to add a little bit of variety and texture to your picture.
It's the spice of life.
It is the spice. Okay, so there's your water under the bridge. Now we have to do the land a little bit. So what do you usually see at the side of like a pond? Do you see maybe grass at the side of the pond?
I usually do.
Sometimes that grass is pretty tall, and you get plants that are just kind of tall and shooshing up. Shooshing. That's a new word. Shooshing.
It's almost like if you ski too. Shoosh, shoosh, shoosh.
So you're going to take and you need to make with your crayon, with your darker crayon, you're just going to make plants at the side. And see how I'm just going like this? I'm just going up and down and up and down at the side of the pond. All right, and then you can have grass.
Ooh, other grass.
Over here. And I have actually a different color. I have a different color crayon or marker. I'm using marker, but it's pretending it's a crayon. To add to it, because here's some more grass. Okay, it's nice not to have so much, but just enough that it's going to add a little bit of pop when you paint over it. So when you're going to do your painting with this, we're going to start with the bottom part, and you're going to use the water for the water and for the grass. So you will take your own watercolors.
How are they going to get their own watercolors, Professor Blackfeather?
Guess what, Professor Buchanan?
What?
They're all going to get their own thing of
Yay!
Watercolors. Pretty cool, huh?
Awesome.
So you will get a chance to be able to do your blues for the water, the blue for the water, as well as the green for the land over here on either side. When you do this, you can make things look darker by putting more paint and less water on your brush. But when you do watercolor, you always need to dip your brush first into the wet. And then you get to put it into the paint that you want to use. And then you get to paint on there, okay? So if you just use a little bit of water and put it into the paint, your paint is going to be darker. If you use more water, it's going to get lighter to use. These paints only have one of each color. So some other paints that you might have two sides of this pink thing, and you might get maybe two different color blues or two different color greens. But for this one, we just have this. And you can take and then you can do your watercolor over everything that you just did. Okay? So down here is going to be the blues. All right? I'm going to have to pull up the camera a little bit so that you can see what we're going to be putting up here. Up here, there is a lot of trees with hanging branches.
Whoa.
Those might be some weeping willows.
I love weeping willows.
They're very weepy, but they're very pretty.
They are.
Okay, so in the background, you're going to be making, I'm going to pull this away, you will get a chance to do more of your watercolor, so let's just finish what we have with the start. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix this, so there we go. Well, maybe. You can kind of see the top part of it. All right, so the top part of the bridge, all of this part back here, you are just going to take your watercolors and you are going to make greens and a little bit of blues here for the sky and greens over here. It's hard for me to do that with the marker, but you can try if you can. Now, in the picture, there's also plants that are back here on the shore. There's kind of like a shore here. And you can do your own plants back there too. Okay? So it's kind of hard to see. So over here you have more trees. More trees with weeping. And then I'm just doing like this.
I like how you make the squiggly lines.
Yeah, because it's not straight lines. They're squiggly.
You can do that with your paintbrush too.
Yes. And then we have a little bit of an opening in the tree line for us to be able to have, to use watercolor like right here in between the trees. And once you get that all, pretend this is a paintbrush and you're using your watercolors. And so here's like that part in between the trees. And then you can fill all the rest of this part in over here with the greens. Use this one here.
Remember, if you use a whole bunch of water, it's gonna make your paper kind of rip.
Yeah.
So be careful with your water.
Okay. So basically you're using greens and blues for this whole thing. That's just to kind of fill in the background. Sound like a
Is it
plan?
okay if I paint over that black on the bridge?
Yes.
Ooh,
You may. You know why? Because the crayon is going to resist it. Maybe we can see if we can show them how it's going to be. I'll hold this and you can paint.
okay.
So she's going to paint over the bridge.
Here it goes. Oh,
You need. I think you might need a little more water.
yeah, maybe.
Just a little more water.
A little bit more green. And I'm kind of making squiggly lines that go down. Oh, it does go right over that.
Very cool.
I'm going to try to fill up the white space. What do you think?
Very cool. So she has the trees on either side, and then she's going to keep filling it in a little bit more and a little bit more here. She's got the water down here. Now, here's the thing. There are, this picture talked about it being in the garden with lilies. Do you know what lily pads are? I think frogs hang out on lily pads. So you could take and you could, before you finish some of the blue in the water, you could make some lily pads with your green. And I usually just make a lily pad like that. It's kind of like a sideways heart. And color it dark green. And then on top of that, I'm going to pull this in so you can see. On top of that, you can make a little flower.
With your watercolors, you might want to wait just a second or two for that paint to dry a little bit more before you put your color on the lily pad. Because otherwise then your colors will smear together. And then you'll have a big blob of brown. And then it will look like a dead lily pad.
Yeah, and that won't be fun.
So maybe do all your lily pads first, the green part, and give them just a minute or two to dry so they're not real goopy.
I kind of forgot about the lily pads, and that's probably one of the most important part of this picture. All right, so yes, make the lily pads, and then you can make the flowers however you want to on those. Usually the flowers for a lily pad kind of go like this. And then you can color it in. It's not perfect, but you can do it how you want to do it. And does this need to be perfect, Professor Buchanan?
It does not.
It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes their thing. It doesn't ever have to look exactly like the other person's. That's not what it's for. All right, so there's a little lily. Stick this one in here.
Hold yours up so I can see it. Oh, I like the way you're doing that.
Very cool. Okay, my friends. So, should we take a look at what Professor Buchanan has done already with hers? She's still going to be adding more to hers.
I am.
And a lot of times this is a work in progress. It might take a little bit more time for everybody to do the things that they need to do. You could always step away if you get frustrated with it and then come back to it in a little while.
And just like on the Georgia O'Keeffe, how we gave you just a plain piece of paper to try it out first, and then we gave you that cardstock to do your real drawing on, we're going to give you some more just plain paper so you can give it a try. And then we're going to give you, come off, a piece of construction paper. It's not as hard as the cardstock, but it's harder than regular paper. And it takes watercolor really nice. So you could do a practice piece, and then you could do your real piece on here.
It's going to be fun.
It will.
Awesome. Okay, so do we have anything else that we're talking about today, or are we going to just give them
Well,
some time?
here's the other thing. When you finish with this one, we were thinking, what if you were Claude Monet and in your backyard there was a bridge? What would be under your bridge? Would you have a pond? Would you have a mountain? Would you have
a junkyard,
Oh. Or a jungle gym.
or a jungle gym.
I don't know what would be underneath your bridge. It could even be something you imagine in your brain. Like if you were to pretend to look out your backyard window and you pretended to see that bridge, you could pretend to see anything underneath. Give that a try. I don't think we'll give you, maybe we will give you construction paper for that one, but we will give you some extra paper so you can do drawing for that too.
Right, so that's gonna be your own bridge over.
I don't know.
You can decide what you wanna have it as.
Maybe it would be a field of dragons.
What?
Or puppies.
That would be
Or
fun.
ice cream cones.
Oh,
Who
ice
knows?
cream.
Ice cream.
Awesome. Okay.
What was that noise?
I don't know. I think they're telling us we must be
It
done.
must be time. Make sure you look at the links below. You'll get some more information and have fun with this project.
Have a good one, guys. We'll
See ya.
see you next week.
There's the start of mine.
Woohoo! We can't wait to see your pictures. Don't
Please
forget
post.
to post them on the Google album.
The Googles.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.